Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer.
Julia Hartley here.
And this time we are in Arundel. This is the third of our specials in Arundel, in West Sussex at the Town Hall, exploring some of the secrets that not everybody gets to see. Where are we today?
We are at the dungeons in the Town Hall.
At the dungeons?
The dungeons, the
Wait a
jail
minute.
cells.
No, I thought we were going somewhere pleasurable. You've taken me to the dungeons.
What, you don't like whips and chains?
I might have to come back to you on that one. Yeah, we are at the dungeons and we're going to explore. Now, somewhere, should we take a little walk
Let's
in
have
here?
a little nosy.
Mark Philips is waiting to greet us, but I can't see him anywhere.
No.
Let's just take a step down here. Oh, hello, Mark.
Hello, Richard.
This is a very spooky sort of place that you've brought us to.
Well, you're seeing it with the lights on, Richard. I
Yeah.
come down and turn the lights on first, so come on through.
Come on through,
These
in
are
we
the
go.
old cells underneath the Town Hall.
My goodness.
So these were in use from the 1830s, early 40s onwards until the new Town Hall was, the new police station was built a couple of doors along, which then took over. But these were still in use up until the 1980s, 1990s, because there was a magistrates' court above, so they would be used as holding cells between cases.
Now, I'm intrigued by the colour because I've never been to cells where you've got effectively pink walls. That does seem a little bit barking mad.
As you will see by some of the lighting effects, it's now used as a theatre, basically. I mean, we have events on it. We have plays. We have live jazz, comedy nights, 80s nights. You know, there's all manner of things goes on here. Check out the old Arundel jailhouse site on Facebook, and you will find.
So it's no longer real cells.
No, it's not. It's not.
That is a relief, is it? Is it not?
Well, they're real cells.
The last thing that the lovely Julia would ever like to be is slammed into the slammer.
Well, let's find out. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know if she'd like it or not.
No.
How about?
Look at this, willingly walking in.
Okay. Are you ready for this, Julia?
Yep.
This is what you would have heard.
Oh my gosh, that is so. Wow. That's insane.
Well, I think that's the best thing that's happened to Julia for a while. Shall we leave her there? I'd like to. Now, I don't want you slamming this door, but I'm going to come into a different cell, one that's actually got lights on, so we can see perhaps a bit more of how small it is. It's quite a small space. You've got just next to me here a table, which I imagine is where a bed would be. If I just bring the camera up and look down, you'll see there.
That would have been it.
That's. And how many people would have been put in here back in the 1800s?
They wouldn't have been like today. You wouldn't have had a limit of a maximum amount. They would just put in
they
whatever
just shoved in however many.
as was required.
Yeah. I mean, they had reform prisons. I mean, obviously John Howard had been around. Is that comfortable?
Not particularly.
No. And you know, in the 18th century, in the 1700s, but back when this was built, presumably they had a little bit more.
Yes, they would have done. These wouldn't have been long-term. So this is a local town.
Yes.
Prison. I mean, they would have been held here. They would have been magistrates' court upstairs. You know, so they wouldn't have been, having long sentences in these cells. You know, a few days at the most, generally.
I'm loving the doors on some of these cells. You've got bars over here, and then on this side.
I can show you a very interesting one, if you like.
You can show me a very interesting one. That would be. Hang on, let's just quick see what Julia's up to. They've got their little spy holes here to look inside.
There you go.
Ooh. Hello.
Anybody in there?
No.
Yeah.
Have a quick.
You said you could show us a special one.
Yes. Come with me, and I will show you what's known as the isolation cell.
Okay.
And you will see this one is more in its original condition.
Right.
The isolation cell.
Isolation cell, okay. So it's isolated already from the rest.
It is, yes. And again, okay. But this one we can actually go into. Oh, the
rather nasty noise, yeah.
door sound, look.
Gosh, look at the size of that bolt.
I didn't prepare that. After you, ladies and gents.
Okay, just let the light go on, because obviously we need to be able to see. And in we go. Oh, blimey. Much colder in here already, because it's isolated.
Doesn't smell too fresh either.
No. And more like the sort of colouring, I guess, that a cell would be.
Yeah.
Oh, what have you found?
A hefty chain.
She's found some chains, ladies and gentlemen. I think we could just tie her up.
Chain.
You wouldn't. What sort of chain do you suppose that might be, Mark?
Almost certainly that would have been an ankle chain. Richard, you can see. Yeah, you would have had a cusp on here, and it would have gone around the ankle. And as you can see, it will limit.
Oh yes, you couldn't get out, could you? Even if you could get through the door, you couldn't actually escape.
No.
More change here.
Oh, it's a ghost walker's dream, look.
I spotted something interesting just now, Richard, as I was showing you around. You've got a thing here, 1842. Does that look like possibly? Looks like an 1842.
1842 scratched
look,
on
and
there.
you've got the old style W there. Look with the.
Which makes it more authentic, because you know, often when I see graffiti, I often think, well, anyone could put any date, couldn't they? They could put 1739, but you'd know that wasn't true because the building wasn't here.
No, not until the mid 1830s. Yeah.
There's even a spider up on the ceiling.
Oh, yes, a few years ago there was a small scary type theatre event in here, yeah, and it was set up as like a little, you know, we had things set up where, look, you can see some of the chords here, look, that would things would happen, etc. And I think it was about £3 or £4, and you'd have a 20-minute Arundel ghost experience, which I have been on, and it is extremely good fun. It doesn't run anymore, but it did used to be very good fun.
Well, I can safely say, Julia, that I wouldn't want to be stuck in here, would you?
No.
Let's get out, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any ghostly experiences down here? Because I imagine a place like this must open itself up to all sorts of spooky happenings.
Yes, interesting. A chap I know who works as a volunteer for Arundel Museum, he said to me that he was here. This used to be the museum in this building.
Oh, was it? A museum?
This was the Arundel Museum.
Open to the public?
It was. It was quite damp and... You know, but so in the 1970s they moved all the exhibits into a new building in the High Street. Yeah. And the gentleman in question, he was the last person here. He was the chap that done all the photographs for the museum. Is his hobby. And gentleman of very good standing actually, head of English at the local. Yeah. Head of the main school. And he told me that he was standing here in the middle of the room, exactly where you are actually, Richard. Funny enough.
Oh, blimey.
And
it's put me on the spot, doesn't it?
After everybody had gone, and he said that he heard a noise behind his head, which he said sounded like pots and pans banging together. So I said, well, did you go and look to see where the noise was coming from? He said, no, Mark, you don't understand. It was just behind my head. Oh. So, literally. Literally behind there. Yeah. Now, this is the man of, it doesn't believe in ghosts and spirits and any strange goings on. It frightened the life out of him. I'm not surprised. I said, well, what did you do? He said, I ran for the door, and as he ran for the door, he shouted over his shoulder, thank you very much for letting me take photographs of your home, but I'll be off now. And he ran out, locked the door, and he was off down the High Street. So, and I heard that, he told me that himself. Yeah. So, gosh. There's also been a number of sleepovers here with various paranormal groups that they've arranged over, and one of the most regular things that tends to crop up is the feeling of a small dog or a cat brushing past your ankles. Any feelings? No, not. Because you, if anyone I know who would feel ghosts of animals, it would be you. Normally. Gosh. Do you feel anything down here at all? Not particularly, no. Interesting. Okay. Not in. What about the isolation cell?
There's feelings there, but nothing substantial.
No, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, sadly, as ever, time has beaten us, and in a place like a jail, time is a relevant word. I think we've done our time, haven't we?
I
We
think
don't
so.
want to do too much time. So, shall we skip? Actually, I'm just looking at you. If you were to stand against the wall, Juliet, you'd just effectively disappear.
Where have I gone?
And that way you could escape, couldn't you? Like a chameleon, you would get out of the prison. That's got rid of Juliet. Thank you so much, Mark. It's
No
been
problem.
an absolute joy.
No
And thank you for all the recent videos that we've done down here.
It's been a pleasure.
Will you take us around Arundel on another occasion and point out some of the interesting classics?
If you want me to, yeah, I can show you a few of these, the more unusual sights and sounds, as well as at least one murder.
Well,
in
now,
town.
everybody likes a juicy murder, don't they?
Everyone likes an ooky murder.
So on that note, if you'd like us to come back and do some more with Mark, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching. It's been an absolute joy. Until the next one.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye.